Hello everyone, welcome to your channel, Recap. I hope you have a great day. Today I am sharing an interesting movie with you, so before the video starts, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to watch more interesting movie. Thank you. The story is set in the future, where humans live alongside artificial intelligence AI robots that help with everyday tasks. One day, the robots suddenly broke their security rules under the leadership of Harland, the first AI terrorist. Harland was created at Shepard Robotics by Val and used to be close to Val's young daughter. However, no one knows how he managed to override Val's top-notch programming. Harland sends an army of drones to attack Bangalore, killing 50,000 people. This starts a war between humans and ICE. After 10 days of intense attacks around the world, the AI robots have killed over 1 million civilians. The government eventually forms the ICN, or International Coalition of Nations, to fight back against the bots. Battles happen in every country, and slowly, the ICN defeats the AI armies. This makes Harun leave the planet on a rocket, leaving behind a message saying he'll return to finish what he started. 28 years later, in the USA, an ICN team breaks into a building and scans everyone until they find Casa, an AI bot. They rush upstairs, but Casa attacks them before they can break down the door. Casa takes down the soldiers one by one, even using their own weapons against them. Bullets don't hurt him, so he easily keeps going. When he's surrounded, he jumps to the lower floor, only to be knocked out by a machine with an electric shock. The next morning in Los Angeles, Val's adult daughter Atlas is woken up by her house's computer while continuing a chess game from last night. Atlas sees on the news that the ICN has captured Casa, who is part of Harland's inner circle since she works as a counterterrorism analyst for the IN. She gets ready to leave but finds a soldier already at her door. As she leaves, Atlas checkmates and the computer at the base. Colonel Elias tells General Jake that bringing Atlas in is a bad idea because she is unstable and antisocial. Jake reminds Colonel Elias that she knows Harlan the best and is their only chance to get information from Casa. Soon, Atlas arrives, and after a quick scan, Jake takes her to the interrogation room. She puts down her favorite chess piece and opens a box, revealing Casa's head. The bot recognizes her but refuses to answer her questions. Atlas uses her chess piece to hack into his head. Casa mocks her efforts, claiming his security is perfect. However, Atlas announces she found Harlan's location and writes it down. Casa can't believe it. And he's right. Atlas pretended to find it and made a doodle to trick him into thinking about the location, which then appears on the screen. Harold is hiding on GR39 in the Andromeda Galaxy. Furious, Casa tries to shoot a shuriken from his mouth, but Atlas is protected by a force field. Atlas then uses the chess piece to fry Casa's head later. Jake informs Atlas that they want to capture Harold alive because the AI production company wants to analyze what went wrong and correct it in the future. Elias and his team of rangers will fly to GR339, which Atlas thinks is crazy because Harlan could have a trap ready. She's sure nobody will come back alive, so to change her mind, Elias shows her the team's arc suits. They are big battle robots that the soldiers can ride into battle, and Elias reveals their latest upgrade. The Rangers wear neural links on their heads that allow them to synchronize with the suits. Atlas freaks out because letting ice into people's heads caused the war. But Elias explains that they've improved the VolSync device to make it a two-way connection, creating a true symbiotic relationship in the end. Atlas agrees not to complain as long as she can join the mission. A spaceship soon sets off for Andromeda with Atlas and the Rangers. Atlas looks at a photo of her with Val and Harlan and plays a video of one of Val's speeches. Val believed that ICE could learn much faster if they were connected to humans, which is why she invented the Neuralink device. She thought ICE and humans could help each other later. Atlas is called to the bridge for a meeting. Everyone laughs when she presents her information on paper instead of using screens and gets annoyed when she asks them to disable the neural links during the meeting, fearing they could be hacked. Atlas explains that the planet is toxic, so they should never leave their arc suits unless they have a respirator. There are also risks of gravity fluctuations and earthquakes. She reminds them not to trust any AI and starts to rant, so Elias interrupts her and tells the team to get ready for landing. Atlas tries to warn Elias that Harold likely has a trap ready, but Elias trusts his team. As the Rangers start boarding their suits, an alarm sounds, and an explosion suddenly blows off the cargo bay door. The ship catches fire, most of the suits get damaged, and there are more missiles coming. Elias orders the surviving Rangers to jump and reunite at the drop point on the planet. Atlas barely manages to hold on and not fly away through the hole in the ship, so Elias grabs her and puts her in a suit when he tries to explain how to use it. Another explosion happens, and the Atlas suit drops to the planet as the suit falls. Atlas watches the ship come apart, and some of the pieces hit her arc. When she gets closer to the planet, she discovers the Rangers are fighting Harlan's drones, and while they do manage to shoot a few down, they are still easily overpowered. The ship starts falling and almost crashes against Atlas, but a Ranger pushes her out of the way. Just in time, the Ranger catches the Atlas suit with a wire to begin falling together as Elias appears on the Atlas screen, explaining she needs to sync with the suit's AI to stabilize her fall. Atlas refuses to do so, and her helper gets shot down, so her suit begins falling even faster. She manages to activate the thrusters at the last second, and the suit lands quite hard on the planet, but at least it doesn't kill her after realizing she's bleeding. Atlas tries to contact the base for help, but to no avail. With no other choice, she activates the suit AI, who introduces himself as Smith. He wants to go through the tutorial and set up, but Atlas skips all that and asks for a rescue pod. Smith's scanner finds 198 kilometers away, and Atlas asks him to get there as fast as possible. The suit immediately starts its thrusters, yet Atlas stops him, reminding him that if they fly, they'll be seen by the enemy, so they should walk. Smith thinks it's a bad idea because the suit only has 22 hours left of air, but Atlas doesn't care and overrides Smith's protocols to start walking toward the pod. During the trip, Smith tries to bond with Atlas, who still doesn't want to be friends with an AI. He also shows her the beginner's manual, including all the weapons that come with the suit. Eventually, they make it to the drop point and find all the fallen suits, but unfortunately, Smith's skin indicates that all the Rangers are dead. Bullet holes prove the crash didn't kill them. Someone waiting here did. Atlas have a panic attack over the failure, so Smith calmed her down. Then she started collecting the Rangers' tags and noticed that Elias's suit was empty. At that moment, they detect movement nearby. It's Casa. Atlas concludes that Harold made a copy and worries about the possibility of building a whole army. Smith confirms there are more bots nearby and announces they should get ready for combat because there's no escape route. Suddenly, the enemy sees them and opens fire, so Atlas forces Smith to run, not believing they can win against so many bots. A chase ensues, and Atlas still refuses to sink. Instead, she makes Smith shoot a few missiles. Unfortunately, it's not enough to bring down every enemy. Their running takes them to an atmospheric storm, which catches the suit and blows it around until the boss shoots them out of it. The suit rolls around for a while, until it crashes against a rock formation. EDS orders the use of the iron bomb, ignoring Smith's warnings. The explosion is huge and destroys the area, bringing down their enemies as well. However, Casa saved himself thanks to his thrusters and got ready to shoot again. At that moment, the ground starts to shake, and Smith explains that the explosion has caused a sinkhole, which now opens under the suit and makes them fall into a chasm after lots of rolling under the rocks. The suit lands, and Atlas discovers she has a broken leg. Smith immediately begins treating the wound, making Atlas scream in pain as he covers the injury with a small metal plate. Smith then gives her a meal cube that can provide nutrients for her recovery, which reminds Atlas of a doctor giving her a lollipop. Their chances of survival are pretty low, and the only way to improve them would be by synchronizing. Atlas reluctantly agrees and puts on the device. Meanwhile, Casa emerges from the rubble and calls Harlan to inform him of the situation. After hanging up, Harlan goes back to torturing Elias to extract the Earth's protective field passwords. Moments later, Atlas is still failing to sync, and Smith explains that she's the problem because she refuses to trust him. He decides to go through the tutorial again, which asks Atlas some silly questions like pie or cake to create a bond. Smith wants to know why Atlas wants to fight so badly, so she revisits her memories of her childhood, including Harold and Val, who were great scientists but also terrible mothers. This kind of memory is what's preventing the sync, and Smith offers to use some gentle impulses to calm her down. We are 4,989 feet below the surface, and they return to the surface. Atlas learns how to use her abilities quickly, but Smith still thinks the odds aren't in their favor and the enemy has found them. Smith has learned to improvise thanks to his syncing in with Atlas, so he uses the suits, shields, and weapons in a very clever way that helps them bring down many bots at that moment. Atlas sees the rescue and makes Smith walk toward it, and they get the suit ready for one final attack. They fly toward the enemy and shoot their way through the drones. Colonel Elias activates the self-destruct sequence to blow out the last big bot while she jumps out after the explosion. Atlas sees Harlan approaching and shoots him. Harold offers to turn him off, but Smith refuses to let go. When everything is over, Atlas comes out of the rubble and meets Smith's hologram, who thanks her for allowing him to be more than an AI. He then disappears while Atlas walks toward the base. where other soldiers are waiting for her. She's finally accomplished her mission. Thank you for taking your precious time to watch this video. See you in the next video.